Hello yogis, happy morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you may be watching this video, utilizing this practice. Hope you're having a great day. If you're watching this on the day that it is released, you are watching it on September 11th, 2020, which is the anniversary, almost the 20-year anniversary, so not quite 20 years, but the 19th anniversary of September 11th, 2001. And so on this anniversary of such a huge historical thing in our world, event in our world, I wanted to offer a practice entitled Yoga After Tragedy. If you're unfamiliar with the events of September 11th, 2001 in the United States, I will not go into detail because you can Google and Wikipedia and all that stuff, but basically there were some things that we titled terrorist attacks, and there were a lot of people killed and a lot of lives were lost, and then people who did survive maybe experienced injuries of various kinds. Then there were first responders who were impacted, and there was just a lot. There was a lot going on that day, and so I wanted to take this opportunity to honor that tragedy, but also just the various tragedies that we experience in our lives. I know that I can point to multiple what I would consider tragedies in my life, and sometimes they may seem small, or they may not seem like tragedy. Maybe it's just, maybe you prefer the term loss or change or something like that, but either way, your world gets shattered when things change. And I just wanted to offer an opportunity today to have a practice to help pick the pieces back up when the world gets shattered around us. And so we'll start just seated on our mat. If you have a blanket and you like to have that beneath your bum or beneath your knees, when we're in tabletop, feel free to grab that. If you like to sit on a pillow or a cushion, feel free to grab that as well. And just find a nice seated position on your mat. Crisscross applesauce is great, or if you have the legs crossed, maybe you allow the bottom leg to come just slightly in front of the top leg so that they're both kind of sitting parallel to one another. So neither one is on top of the other, and they're not crossing and squishing, but just kind of sitting beside one another. Your hands can come to heart center. You can bring those palms together in front of your heart space, gently pressing your thumbs into your chest, or you can bring those hands to your lap. Palms facing down to practice grounding or to release energy, and palms facing up to receive energy or practice opening. So whichever serves you well today, I'm going to bring my hands to heart center. And allow your eyes to close, or just soften your gaze on something in front of you. Maybe you would like to grab a candle and light it in honor of your tragedies or your losses. Or if nothing comes to mind and you want to honor the loss of those who lost loved ones, or their health, or life as it once was 19 years ago, maybe you light a candle on their behalf. When you become still, begin to notice your breath. First, without trying to change it, just notice where your breath is hanging out today. Are you taking deep and full, equal breaths where the inhales match the length of the exhales? Or is your breath more short and choppy? Just notice without judgment, without trying to change it. And then we'll begin to deepen our breath, making our breath a little more intentional. So as you breathe in, let your chest expand, let your ribs expand, let the belly expand like a balloon. And then through your mouth, let it go. Exhale. One more time, big inhale. Feel the chest expand, the ribs expand, the belly expand. Feel all the way up to the top and hold for a moment, unless you have a baby in your belly, in which case you will not hold your breath. You will just let it go. So hold your breath and then take in a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. And then through your mouth, let it go. Feel your body sink into the earth on that exhale. Find a little more release. When you're ready, close your lips and allow the back of the tongue to gently touch the top of your mouth, the roof of your mouth. The idea here is just creating a small amount of constriction in the throat so that each exhale makes a little ocean-like sound. Envision the air as you inhale going all the way to the base of your spine. And then as you exhale, envision that air rising up the spine and out through your closed mouth, which really it would come out your nose. And continue to breathe. And this ujjayi breath, this ocean-like breath, and as you continue to breathe, I want to read a blessing from one of my absolute all-time favorite books, and I'll share at the end what that book is so you don't get distracted right now. But this blessing is entitled After a Destructive Encounter. Now that you have entered with an open heart into a complex and fragile situation, hoping with patience and respect to tread softly over sore ground, in order that somewhere beneath the raw estrangement, some fresh spring of healing might be coaxed to release the grace for a new journey, beyond repetition and judgment, and have achieved nothing of that, but emerged helpless and with added hurt. Withdraw for a while into your own tranquility. Loosen from your heart the new fester. Free yourself of the wounded gaze that is not yet able to see you. Recognize your responsibility for the past. Don't allow your sense of yourself to wilt. Draw deep from your own dignity. Temper your expectation to the other's limits and take your time carefully, learning that there is a time for everything and for healing too, but that now is not that time yet. As you continue to breathe here, perhaps these words or perhaps something else altogether speaks to your soul. Notice any feelings, any emotions that may emerge without trying to stuff them down, without trying to follow the story that they have to tell you. Just notice them. Maybe you even envision the emotion sitting beside you on your mat. If you would like to set an intention for your practice today, I invite you to do so. Your intention can be a word or a phrase. It can be a person. It can be the healing of a certain event that's happened in your life or hasn't happened in your life. It can just be the word healing or peace or stillness. Have selected your intention or allowed it to select you, we'll seal it in together with a big inhale in through the nose. Fill all the way up to the top. And through your mouth, let it go. One more time, big inhale in through the nose. Big open mouth exhale. Stay right here as long as you need, as long as you like. When you're ready, wherever your hands are, allow them to come down beside your knees. And on your next inhale, reach those arms up to the side and to the sky. Let the palms come together to touch overhead. And as you exhale, bring those hands to heart center. Symbol of embracing a new day, new light, new healing. If we were in a group setting in person, I would have you turn to your neighbors and say namaste. That's one of my favorite things in a yoga practice, in a class setting. So if you're with people right now, I invite you to turn to them and say namaste to them. If you're by yourself, I invite you to turn inward. Namaste means you can translate it in lots of ways. My favorite translation is the light of the divine in me sees and honors the light of the divine in you. And so maybe you turn inward and say namaste to yourself, or maybe if your tragedy or your hurt is that something has happened or you've lost someone, maybe you had an argument with a loved one, maybe you just internally turn to them and greet them with namaste. So whoever your namaste goes to today, I invite you to do that. And I say namaste to you. When you are ready, let your hands release into a natural position and flutter your eyes open if they're not already open. Notice which leg is either in front of or on top of the other if you're seated in crisscross applesauce. And then do a switcheroo. Once again, trying to bring that bottom leg out in front of the other. Just let the opposite leg come on top or in front of. Bring your hands to your knees. Let the palms grip the knees just gently. We'll do some seated cat-cow. So as you inhale, reach your chest forward so that there's a little bit of bend in your back. And look up toward the sky. Feel the stretch through the front of your neck. Maybe even tilt your head farther back so you can really feel that stretch. And on your next exhale, arch your back. Bring your shoulders forward and send your belly back toward the spine. Inhale, chest comes forward, gaze turns up, stretch that neck. Maybe you even do some side to side stretching. And exhale, shoulders come forward, belly goes back. And we'll continue here in these seated cat-cows for a few more breaths. So allow your cat-cows to be at the pace of your breath. The idea here is just to get a little bit of movement in the spine throughout the upper body. One more round of breath. And return to a neutral spine, sitting up tall. Let your right hand come by your right side and inhale your left arm to the sky. As you exhale, let that left arm fall over to the right side, finding a bit of a side bend. Allow the left hip to stay rooted in the earth. So press that left hip into the earth as you lift and lengthen through that left arm. You can take your gaze down to the right hand. You can allow it to be straight in front of you, or you can take it up toward that left hand. Continue to breathe here. Maybe deepen that side bend a little bit by bending the right elbow. Inhale, back up to the top. And we'll switch. Inhale the right arm to the sky, and as you exhale, fall over to the left side. Same thing with your gaze. You can look down at the left hand, straight out in front of you, or up to the right hand. Feel free to find some neck movements if you need here. And then inhale back to the top. We'll take one more side bend stretch on each side. So inhale the left arm up, and exhale, it falls over. Maybe you go a little bit deeper this time. Remember to breathe. Don't hold the breath. Let it go. Then on your next inhale, we'll come back to the top, switch the arms, exhale over to the left side. Inhale, back to the top. Let your left hand, option one will be that your left hand comes to whichever foot is in front. And then exhale, you'll twist toward your right side. Option two, your left hand comes to the right knee. Sit up tall on the inhale, and then as you exhale, twist. So option one, your hand is on the foot. Option two, your hand is on the knee. And use that foot or knee for leverage to help you twist a little bit deeper on each exhale. And maybe your gaze turns over that right shoulder toward the wall behind you to increase the stretch and help that neck to have a little bit more stretch too. One more breath here. Inhale, come back to center. And then on your exhale, we'll take a twist in the opposite direction. So same options. Right hand can come to the foot or the left knee. As you exhale, twist. Maybe your gaze turns over that left shoulder. And as you hold this twist, with each inhale, sit up a little bit taller, the long straight spine, and with each exhale, twist a little deeper. Come back to center. And allow the cross of the legs to release, but keep the knees bent. We're going to bring the bottoms of both feet together. Let the toes touch, the heels touch. This is Baddha Konasana, or butterfly pose. In the yin practice of yoga, it is also called cobbler's pose, so you may have heard any of those names for it. So let your knees fall open to the side. If this is too much, you can lessen the intensity by letting your feet come farther away from your body. Or if you want more intensity, as long as your knees are healthy and hips are healthy, you can bring those ankles closer to your body. Your hands can rest above the ankle, or you can interlace those fingers beneath your pinky toes. Take your pick, and as you inhale, sit up tall, grow long in the spine. Stay right here if you wish, or as you forward fold, keep that spine long and straight. Lead with the heart, and exhale as you forward fold. When you reach your edge, which is when your body says, we're not going any farther, then let your head relax. Maybe you even allow the head to find some side bends or some circles here, stretching the neck. Maybe even a gentle nod, yes and no, finds a little bit of movement in the neck. Allow this pose to be comfortable. So if you are here and you find yourself to not be comfortable at all, maybe you come back up, maybe you bring the feet away from you, or maybe you just take a big inhale, and on the exhale, release and just collapse into the pose. Whatever grief or struggle may be being held in your body, allow it to flow out of you and away from you with each exhale. Sort of like a big wave, an ocean wave coming over your shoulders, over your head, crashing into the earth. One more breath here. And slowly on your inhale, rise back to the top. Keep your right leg where it is and extend your left leg. One option is to extend the leg straight out in front of you so that your hip and your knee and your ankle are all in one straight line, straight in front of you, or you can bring that leg out to the side any amount. Your choice, whatever feels best for your body. Take a big inhale and turn toward your extended big toe. Arms come up overhead. Then as you exhale, forward fold toward that big toe, any amount. Maybe your hands reach the bottom of the foot or the toes, or maybe you just wrap your hands around the calf of that extended leg, or maybe your hands just rest on either side of the leg. All of those options are beautiful and wonderful. So when you get to wherever you're going here with those hands, on your next inhale, come up halfway in the spine, grow long. And then as you exhale, see if you can fold any deeper. Same thing in this pose as in the last pose. Allow yourself to collapse into the pose, to release whatever tension you may be holding in your body.
find your mind wandering here, that's okay. Don't chastise yourself. Just gently bring your awareness back to the intention that you set at the beginning of our practice. The bottom of your next exhale, slowly rise back to the top. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So do a switcheroo with your legs and find that comfortable space with the extended leg. Let the toes of that foot point straight up to the sky. Turn to where your belly button faces that extended big toe and inhale the arms overhead. As you exhale, fold toward that extended big toe, wrapping hands either around the foot, around the ankle, or just placing them beside the leg. Take your pick. And then on an inhale, rise up halfway. Grow long in the spine. And then as you exhale, see if you can fold any deeper. As you remain here, allow your breath to soften. And begin to notice any places within your body that feel tight in this position. Maybe you're holding some tension that you don't need to be holding. See if you can breathe into those places, and as you exhale, release maybe even just a little bit of the tension. One more big inhale. One more big exhale. And on the next inhale, slowly rise back to the top. We'll come from here onto our knees. So if you know that you like to have a blanket beneath your knees, feel free to grab that if you haven't already. If you are new to the practice of yoga, it can be really nice to have a blanket or a towel or even just a small cushion beneath your knees if you have any kind of knee sensitivity at all. And I don't consider my knees all that sensitive, but I still really love to have my blanket for tabletop poses. So get your blanket set up if in the middle-ish of your mat, however you like it. And then we'll come to tabletop, hands and knees. So bring the wrist to stack beneath the shoulders and let the knees stack beneath your hips. Spread your fingers wide. And remember that cat-cow thing that we did seated? We're gonna do that on hands and knees. So as you inhale, lower the belly toward the earth. Let your chest reach forward through the shoulders and look up toward the sky. Hold here and feel that stretch. Maybe even wag your tail ever so gently. And on your next exhale, draw the belly up to the sky, arching your back. Tuck your chin to your chest for cat. it might be nice here to just sway gently front to back. Hold this cat pose, noticing how it feels in your body. And then find movement between the two. So on the inhale, lower the belly, reach the chest forward, look up to the sky. On the exhale, draw the belly up, tuck the chin, arching your back. Inhale, belly lowers, gaze turns up. Exhale, belly lifts, chin tucks. Continue this cat-cow pattern, moving at the pace of your breath. Go as slowly as you need to, and feel free to add any additional movements here that feel good for your body. Maybe side to side, front to back. The practice of yoga is less about forcing your body into particular poses, and it's more about listening to what your body needs. So feel free to do whatever your body needs here. It may not be what your body needed yesterday or earlier today. It may not be what your body will need tomorrow, and that's okay. When you feel complete with your cat-cows, come back to a neutral tabletop with a long, straight spine. Then, on your inhale, let your belly fall, sort of like we're coming back to that cow pose, and allow your right hip to go to the right side. Then look around your right shoulder toward that right hip. We're finding a nice side bend throughout the left side of the body. Then come back to center with the belly. Let it drop toward the earth again if it comes up. Shift the left hip to the left side and turn your gaze around the left shoulder toward that left hip. This is searching for a nice stretch throughout the right side of the body. Come back to center. And send it to the right again. Back to center. And to the left. And then we'll come back to center with that. If you are not on a blanket and you already feel like your knees need a blanket or a towel, go ahead and grab one because we're going to be on our knees for a little bit longer. Not forever, but just a little bit longer. So come back to that tabletop position if you have left it. Long, straight spine. Allow your hips to remain stacked above your knees as you walk your hands forward and let your chest reach toward the earth. Chest touches the earth first, and then your forehead or your chin can also touch. This is puppy pose, so there's a little bit of back bend going on. Your bum is supposed to be stuck up in the air, so it might feel kind of weird. Just allow yourself to relax into the pose. When you feel complete here, begin to walk your hands toward the body, coming back to tabletop. This time let your knees go wide as your mat or maybe even wider. Let the toes behind you come to touch. And begin to sink your bum back onto the heels of your feet as you walk your hands forward, finding child's pose. So child's pose and puppy pose, they have a lot of things in common, but in child's pose, the bum reaches toward the earth or toward the heels of the feet. Your whole torso can relax here on the earth in child's pose. And as your heart connects here with the earth, look inward. Notice how you're doing, how you're truly doing on the inside. Maybe offer a little bit of kindness to yourself for however you may be feeling today. Maybe you even extend that kindness to someone who has hurt you or caused some amount of loss or grief in your life. Maybe you just allow that kindness to spread over your entire body. We often forget to be kind to our bodies. They do a lot to help us. Maybe you even say thank you to your body. When you feel complete here, begin to press your hands into the earth to lift back to tabletop. And we'll come from here onto our backs. One option is to reach forward, lie on your belly, and then flip over like a pancake. Or another option is to come to your bum and slowly lie back until you are flat on your back. Whichever you prefer, we'll meet up on our backs. Take a moment just to stretch, long and tall. Reach your toes toward one end of your mat and the fingers toward the other. Then relax that stretch. Bending both knees, draw those knees in toward your belly or toward your chest, whichever is more accessible. And take a moment to rock side to side or front to back, whatever feels good. Then allow those knees to remain bent, but allow the feet to fall to the earth, bringing the bottoms of the feet together. So we're finding that Baddha Konasana shape that we did seated, we're finding that on our back. So let the bottoms of the feet come together and the knees fall to the side. If this is not comfortable, feel free to shove a blanket or a pillow or even a book or stack of books or a block if you have a block beneath your thighs to help support the knees. And when you find your Supta Baddha Konasana, allow your eyes to close. Reconnect with the breath. At the bottom of your next exhale, allow the left leg to stay where it is, but bring the right knee to the center of the body. And maybe you stay right here, or maybe you lift that right knee in toward your chest. Wrap your fingers around the front of the knee. Maybe you even take a moment to rock side to side here, opening that leg, that hip. And then if you'd like to find a half happy baby, half Baddha Konasana, allow the foot to rise to the sky. Grab either the bottom of the foot or the big toe, bending that knee open toward the right shoulder. And so leave your left leg in that half Baddha Konasana and leave your right leg lifted in half happy baby. I find this pose to be super helpful for lower back or tight hips. Feel free to rock that baby. Maybe you even straighten the leg to find ninja baby. One more breath here. And on the exhale, release the right foot and let it meet the left in full Supta Baddha Konasana. Supta just means that you're lying on your back. Then let your right leg stay where it is and bend or bring the left knee in toward the center. Maybe you stay right here, or maybe you bring that knee toward your chest, wrapping the fingers around the front of the knee. Feel free to wiggle, rock, draw circles, whatever feels nice. And then if you'd like to find that half happy baby on this side, bend the knee, bring the foot to the sky, grab the foot or the big toe, and maybe you rock your baby. Find that ninja baby, straightening the leg. Feel free to explore here what feels nice for your body, what serves you well, what reminds you of healing. One more breath. And on the exhale, release the foot and let it return to meet the right. And stay right here as long as you like. Or when you're ready, bring both knees together and back into your chest. Rock side to side, front to back. Maybe you'd like to find a full happy baby here. That just means spread your knees wide toward their respective shoulders. Bottoms of the feet come to the sky. grab the feet or the big toe. Maybe you rock your baby, swaying side to side. Or for that ninja baby, straighten one leg at a time, or both legs at the same time. Listen to your body here. If there are any remaining movements or poses or stretches that your body needs before you feel ready for Shavasana, which is our final resting pose, take a moment to do whatever your body needs. If shoulder stand or plow are part of your practice, feel free to go there now. Maybe like a gentle bridge. Or maybe you're just ready for Shavasana. And take a few moments to do whatever final movements you need to do. And when you feel ready, begin to make your way to your final resting pose. Allow your eyes to close or soften your gaze. Take a big inhale, drawing your energy back into yourself. And exhale through your mouth. One more time, big inhale in through the nose. Remembering your intention. Tell it thank you. And as you exhale, let it go. Relax every part of the body. Release all effort from body, breath, and mind. For the next few moments, you have nowhere to be but here. Nothing to do, but simply be. When you feel ready, begin to wiggle fingers and toes, bringing life and movement back into your physical body. Stretch your arms up overhead, reach side to side. And if it's right for you, roll over to your right or your left side in the fetal position. Finding a few final moments to simply be. When you feel complete here, press a hand into the earth to rise to a gentle, easy, seated position. with your eyes remaining closed or your gaze softened, bring your hands together at heart center. Take a big inhale in through your nose. Let it go through your mouth. Thank you all so very much for the beautiful and wonderful gift of allowing me to guide your practice today and to hold safe and sacred space for the healing of all our various tragedies. As you move forward in your life's journey, may you know healing, may you know peace, may you know joy in the deepest places. Bringing our thumbs to our third eye, which is the middle of the forehead, we open our minds and our hearts. Namaste. Namaste, yogis. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a beautiful and wonderful rest of your day.